Good afternoon, everybody. This is your boy D Mac. So let's talk. Soon as I get this screen off right here. Um, yeah, let me take this overlay off. I don't really need an overlay. That's better right there. All right, what's happening, everybody? This is your boy D Mac. So let's talk. As you can see from the title, I'm talking about Liangelo Ball and what Liangelo Ball is going through right now because everybody has something to say about what's going on with Liangelo and will he make the Hornets team and him struggling to make it into the NBA and why is he struggling to make it in the NBA if he's as good as his father says he is. Well, I have a theory of my own that I want to present to you guys, and you can take it for what it may be. But I'll just say it like this. Whenever we heard about the Ball family, when we really heard about them on the big stage, this is when Liangelo was in China. They went there for an exhibition game. And in order to fit in with some of his friends, Liangelo stole a pair of Louis Vuitton shades and they got caught and it became an international incident because it was just put out there like that. And so Donald Trump got involved because he happened to be in China talking with Xi Jinping and the topic came up about this American basketball player who was in a situation over there. Well, as we all know, um, Donald Trump claims that he talked to Xi Jinping and told him to, look into it for him and help him out with that situation. Is that true? Based on the amount of lies that Donald Trump told during his presidency, I don't know if it's true or not, whether he said something to Xi Jinping or not. Because according to LeVar Ball, the boys were already in a hotel room. They were not in jail, and the situation was being dealt with before Donald Trump got wind of the situation. So we can't fully say that Donald Trump had any influence on Liangelo Ball and those other guys getting out of that situation in China. Now, what I will say is that LeVar Ball did not go and kowtow and kiss Donald Trump's butt like Donald Trump was expecting. And so, what was the consequences of LeVar Ball not kissing Donald Trump's butt? Well, it could have very well been the same consequences for Colin Kaepernick because we all know that Donald Trump is the main reason that Colin Kaepernick was blackballed from the NFL. Still to this day, Colin Kaepernick could not get on a NFL team if he wanted to. And he's definitely a better quarterback than a lot of the ones that we've seen since Colin Kaepernick has been out of the league. And so that just goes to support the fact that Colin Kaepernick has been blackballed by these owners of these sports teams. And this can go across the spectrum to basketball as well. We know that there are owners of teams out there like a Donald Sterling who are very prejudiced and racist towards black people. How many more owners are like that? Well, there's several more that are like that. They just haven't been put out there yet, and that'll come to light, I'm sure, one day. Because they're just falling by the wayside now. It seems like all of these people who have this hatred and all of this anger and racial tension built up in them are destroying themselves from the inside out. And so we will see who these racists are and who these racist owners of these teams are as they start to expose themselves through their hatred. And so, going back to what I was saying, you have these owners of basketball teams and football teams and baseball teams and soccer teams that will still follow the will of Donald Trump because a lot of them poured money into Donald Trump. They supported Donald Trump and they agreed with Donald Trump's policies and Donald Trump's mindset. You have about $3.7 million from team owners that was poured into Donald Trump's campaign. So that just lets you know that a lot of those team owners were backing Donald Trump because why? He had their best interest at heart, not taxing the rich and making everything fall on the shoulders of the poor. And so, of course, they were going to be in his corner because he was in favor of the rich. So he definitely has a lot of influence with these rich team owners. And so when Donald Trump says, get that son of a bitch out of here, that's exactly what happened with Colin Kaepernick. They got Colin Kaepernick out of the NFL. They blackballed him. And still to this day, Colin Kaepernick has not been the same. And the reason that he was fighting, the thing that he was protesting for, is still very much a thing in this country, which is police brutality. And so we thank Colin Kaepernick for sacrificing his career to bring attention to this subject on such a large scale, because it was necessary. Apparently it was, as we see what has been happening ever since attention has been brought to this subject. And so, with that being said, Donald Trump was denied an apology on the world stage by LeVar Ball. He was totally, in his mind, disrespected by LeVar Ball for not giving him credit for what happened with Liangelo and settling the issue in China. And like I said before, we don't know if he had anything to do with it or not, but Donald Trump wanted that acknowledgement from LeVar Ball, and LeVar Ball was not willing to give it to him. So what in return could Donald Trump do to get back at LeVar Ball? Blackball his sons, blackball them from coming into the league. And that is why they had to take a different route. Because remember, whenever Liangelo got back to UCLA, they were going to hit him even harder with more consequences on top of that were unnecessary. And LeVar said, no, you're not going to continue to reprimand my son and punish my son for something that's already been dealt with and taken care of. And it was at the instruction of one Donald Trump that these schools, or UCLA in particular, decided that they were going to try to make an example of these young men. And LeVar Ball said, no, you're not going to make an example out of my son, because we have other options. And so LeVar took his son out of UCLA so that he wouldn't become victim of Donald Trump's vendetta. And he went another route. He went overseas with it. This is why he went overseas with it, because overseas, Donald Trump has no authority. Donald Trump has no influence in these other countries, and they can go over there and they will be able to be given a fair shake at what they were trying to accomplish. And that goal was to get his two other sons, into the NBA. Now, by going that route and kind of weaving and bobbing through Donald Trump's obstacles that he put in their way, and coming back and getting LaMelo into the league, was a major, major thing. That was a major thing. But there was always a asterisk next to Liangelo's name. There was always a question when it came to Liangelo. Why is that? Because he is the object of Donald Trump's so-called disrespect. He's the reason why he feels LeVar Ball disrespected him on the world stage. He feels like they're ungrateful, and he deserved a thank you from them, which Liangelo did thank Donald Trump, but LeVar didn't. And that was the end goal. So Donald Trump wanted to destroy this young man's dreams of being in the NBA because of his father, because his father wouldn't bow down to him. This is the reason why Liangelo Ball is having such a hard time getting in the NBA. This is the reason why certain teams passing up on him or just playing with him and toying with him, because they have the influence of Donald Trump. And remember, there are a lot of these team owners who are buddies with Donald Trump. There are a lot of these team owners who are in business with Donald Trump. There are a lot of these team owners who have the same mindset and the same perspective as Donald Trump. And so when he says something, even though he's no longer in office, you see that his influence is still very strong from the residue that he left behind with the people that he placed in strategic spots. And so there are still people in our government that are willing to do things for Donald Trump because he put them in the position they're in because they are like-minded along with him. Okay. And so when you take all of these things into consideration, then of course we're going to have teams to sit back and say, well, no, we're not willing to do a trade with y'all to get for Liangelo Ball. Liangelo Ball is not a good bargaining chip. He's damaged goods. He's bad for business. All of these things that they will throw on Liangelo Ball to make teams not interested. Yeah, these things happen. And anybody who just doubts this and says this is far fetched, apparently you don't understand how this country and this world works. Um, this is not beneath Donald Trump. He's absolutely known for being petty and arguing back and forth with athletes. You see how he got into it with LeBron James. You see how you remember when he uninvited Steph Curry to the White House because Steph Curry didn't agree with his policies and basically don't support Trump, nor does Steve Kerr, who's the head coach of the Warriors. And when they won that championship and they decided they didn't want to go to the White House and as trying to do a preemptive strike, Donald Trump said, well, you're just uninvited. These are the petty things that this man will do. So we cannot put it beneath Donald Trump to blackball this young man from the NBA. And there are a lot of team owners who will listen to Donald Trump. So these are some of the unseen reasons that are taking place. These are the politics that we are talking about when we talk about Liangelo Ball and his struggle to get into the NBA. It has nothing to do with his talent because the talent is there. It absolutely has nothing to do with that. And all of you that are going back and forth talking about have he done enough to get into the NBA and have he done enough to get on this Charlotte roster, his spot on the Charlotte roster is solidified. His spot is solidified on Charlotte's roster. You can go ahead and take that to the bank right now. Um, the only thing that they have to deal with is backlash and all of the attacks that are going to come from the right. Yeah, the conservatives, the Republicans, all of those who still have that residue of Donald Trump still coming off of. These are the people that Liangelo are fighting against. These are the ones who are going to speak against him at every turn. These are the ones who are always going to throw that back up in the air whenever he does something good. Oh, well, remember what he did over in China? He has questionable character. And they're going to run with this narrative continually, and they're going to discredit and they're going to demonize this kid so that they can try to destroy his dream. And it's really not him that they're trying to destroy, it's LeVar Ball that they're trying to destroy. So his sons are becoming what the government considers collateral damage in this battle between them and LeVar Ball. LeVar Ball represents a people who will not be swayed by a lying government and who will not be forced to give recognition where recognition is not due. This is what LeVar Ball represents. He represents the United States who says, you're no better than me. You're no bigger than me. And I do not recognize you as being superior over me. That's what LeVar Ball is a representation of. And that's the people standing up against the government. And when the people have a voice and can stand up and speak out against the government, then that makes the government scared, because that means they're losing their latch of control on the people. So this is what LeVar Ball and his sons represent. It's the people versus the system. This is what this scenario is. This is what this battle is about. The people versus the system. And if the people win in this situation, it's going to inspire more people to stand against the government. This is bigger than basketball. It's a lot bigger than basketball, and people are not seeing it. They're not seeing it because they think, well, oh, Donald Trump's out of office now. Well, that era is over with. No, he still has influence outside of the office, as you can see with all of the idiots that are running around the Capitol right now and the situation that is going on with the Capitol right now. You still see his influence lingering there, because those people are like-minded, like I said before. So when you have these type of people that are pushing a vendetta against a family, an American family, because of the pettiness of one president, you have to ask the question, who are we putting in office? What are we really doing when we elect these people? Are we really vetting these people like we should before we give them responsibility over us? Because if they are that small minded that they will have a vendetta against a family who resisted to, well, actually they didn't resist to apologize, because like I said, Liangelo did apologize, but because the father didn't bow down to the system, a black man didn't bow down to the system, they are going to make it hard for that family to do the things that they want to do. So this is where we are as a country. We have a family that's battling the government over acknowledgement for something that our president may or may not have done. This is the pettiness that the American government has fallen to. This is the level that they are willing to stoop to. Remember that saying from Laura Ingraham, shut up and dribble. This is what they want from all of our athletes. They don't respect you as a human. They don't respect you as a person. They don't respect you as whatever ethnicity you come from. Only thing they want you to do is entertain them and shut up. They don't care about your problems, your issues, or none of that. And they will make it harder for you if you do not push their agenda or follow their agenda. So, with that being said, of course, Liangelo Ball is going to struggle trying to get into the NBA, because he has the whole entire, what am I going to call them? The elites. The elites do not like him or his family, but the elites can't deny the people what is in front of them, which is the greatness of these players. But they can put obstacles in the way and try to discourage him, to make him give up and say, oh, well, he just didn't make it. Just like they tried to do with Colin Kaepernick. Oh, well, he just wasn't good enough. But no, you see how they tried to set up a tryout, and they set it to conditions that weren't feasible for Colin Kaepernick. And because he didn't take that opportunity, everybody said, well, they gave him a chance, but he just didn't take the opportunity so that they could cover for themselves. That's always been their thing. They'll give you what appears to be an opportunity, but it's really not an opportunity. It's just set up so they can cover their own butt. Um, yeah, I'm gonna just leave it at that, man. I'll say it again, that these team owners are definitely playing politics. There are so many players that are overseas playing in the Euro leagues and playing in the other leagues over there because of politics in the United States. Maybe the gatekeepers didn't want them. He's not one of our guys. He's a guy with integrity who's willing to say something. So the good old boys crew didn't let him in. And that's the same thing with the Ball family. They weren't let in by the good old boys club. Only one was. That was Lonzo. Lonzo was accepted by the good old boys club, but LaMelo was not, nor was Liangelo. The only reason LaMelo got in is because of what he did overseas in Lithuania and in Australia. Because to go to Australia and become rookie of the year in Australia is not an easy task, because Australia is not an easy league. And this is what I want people to understand. Everybody's saying that um, LaMelo or Liangelo haven't played up against NBA caliber players. That's a lie. That's an outright lie. He played NBA caliber players in Lithuania. He played NBA caliber players in Australia. We have many players who have come from Australia who have come to the NBA and dominated in their own rights. We have so many guys from the Euro leagues, all of these different leagues from overseas that come over here and have made a name for themselves in the NBA. And they play better, if not, well, they play better. Yeah, because of the fundamentals that they keep in their game, and they don't just do that run and gun AAU type of style that we're starting to see more of in the NBA from a lot of our players who are coming up. So we can continue to say these narratives and what ifs and shoulda, coulda, wouldas, but it all boils down to politics. Liangelo Ball is having a hard time getting in the NBA because Donald Trump blackballed him. Period, point blank. You can fight against what I say, you can agree to disagree or whatever, but I stand on what I say, and we're going to see Liangelo Ball rise above this, and he's going to not only flourish and excel, but he's going to bring a change in basketball. Everybody's talking about, oh well, he's just a one trick pony, or he's just a wing guy. What else do you expect him to be? I mean, y'all want him to be everything wrapped in one. You want him to be a point guard. You want him to be a shooting guard. You want him to be a forward. You want him to be a center. You want him to be everything wrapped in one. That man was groomed and raised to be a shooter, a set shooter. That's always been his spot. He didn't have to be point guard because LaMelo was point guard. He didn't have to be all of these other things because they had players to be those things. But what he was groomed and what he was raised to be is a shooting guard. And that's exactly what he does. He picks his spots, he gets open so you can hit him with the pass so he can get that wide open look for the shot and drain the three. That's what he does. Can he do other things? Yes, out of necessity, because if his shot's not dropping, he knows how to drive to the basket and make points, or he knows how to create space. He knows how to get other people open and dish the ball to them. He has so many different things that he can do. His spot on the Charlotte Hornets is solidified. We've seen some guys in this summer league so far who have done nowhere near what Liangelo Ball can do. And these guys are not being questioned like Liangelo is. Are they going to get a spot on the roster? Have you questioned anybody else's spot being on somebody's roster based on their play and match their minutes and their performance to Liangelo Ball's minutes and performance, and see if you're going to ask the same question about them that you ask about Liangelo Ball, because it comes down to people targeting Liangelo Ball. He's got a target on his back. And I said that from the beginning. He's always going to be under a microscope because of the negative connotation that comes with his name, his name in particular. And they're always going to throw up that stealing thing. They're good for trying to discredit somebody. Soon as Kobe Bryant died, was one of the first things that they said about Kobe. Or remember back with that thing that happened in Colorado with that girl. His body wasn't even cold yet. And they bringing up the past, trying to put dirt on the man's name. So Let's not play this game like the industry is not set up for certain people to be a part of. And if they don't want you in it, they will find a way to blackball you. Let's not act like that's not a thing, because it absolutely is. And so with Liangelo Ball, he will be a Charlotte Hornet. He will have a spot on the roster because they're not going to play around with their franchise player's brother like that and just give him a showing and then just let him loose. What's going to benefit more for the Charlotte Hornets? Um, Keep Liangelo Ball for a couple of dollars, or keep a guy who may be something for them and they still have to pay him that full pay or whatever his negotiation price is, and they're not getting anything out of it really other than the potential and the hopes of this guy maybe being somebody that can produce for their team one day. But that has no bearing on LaMelo and Liangelo. So for one, you have somebody there with with LaMelo. So LaMelo's comfortable now. He's got his brother here. He's got somebody that he know, not just his trainer, but somebody that he grew up with every day. He's got somebody that he can relate to, somebody that he can talk to on a regular basis. That's going to help with his mental health. That's going to help with him concentrating on playing the game and all of those outside distractions, you know. And also, you're keeping your franchise player happy. Got my brother here. I got everything I need. I'm happy. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to produce for this team. I'm ready to lead this team into hopefully playoffs and maybe a championship soon within these 4 years that I'm here. So would I rather spare a couple dollars just to make sure that my star player is secure and comfortable by bringing his brother on and giving his brother an opportunity? Yeah, yeah, that's worth a roster spot. And worst come to worst, worst case scenario with that is what? Liangelo won't work out, and he'll go on and get an opportunity, to try out for other teams, but they really gave him a fair shake. That's what it comes down to. That's worth it to me. I don't know about y'all, but that's worth it to me. I got a fair shake. Y'all gave my brother a fair opportunity. So I have some sense of loyalty to y'all now because y'all were the only ones to give my brother a fair opportunity. So I believe that Liangelo Ball's spot on the roster is solidified and secure. The only thing that could stop that from taking place is Liangelo having some type of breakdown or, something like that. But with them trying to make this deal with the Cavaliers, it shows that they're trying to get rid of Hayward and that 140 million contract that they have with him just sitting on the side, who's disgruntled and all of that. So they're trying to make moves to free them up to be able to have uh, get some other players and get some youthful players around this young man that is the franchise of their team. So they have the youth in his brother. They're getting him for a steal, and they're having LaMelo feel secure in Charlotte. What more can you ask for? It's a win-win for him. So based on that alone, I'm telling all of y'all that Liangelo Ball has a spot on the Charlotte Hornets roster. So you can do your analytics and you can do all of what you want to, but this is what I'm telling you based on what I see and what I hear. And I stand on that no matter what you say. So that's all I really have to say about Liangelo Ball. This is my last time talking about him until he gets that roster spot. And I will be coming back to say I told you so. And if he don't get a roster spot, then I'll come back and say, oh, well, that was a mistake by the Charlotte Hornets. But I stand on what I say. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. And you know what I say. Sticks and stones can break your bones, but the word can always heal you. I'm out.